Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your February 2020 mid-month general reading. We're looking at the last half of February. Welcome to everyone here. Thanks for all your support, feedback, comments on this channel, and thanks for joining us today. I'm glad you're here. So this reading is for the water sign of Scorpio for the last half of February 2020. That's Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, or if you are cross-watching, I always have a hard time with that word, cross-watching for a Scorpio. But as you all probably know by now, general readings, because there's so many of you watching and they're general, they always resonate a little differently for everyone. So if you know your other signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, watch those as well, because it can always provide additional and clarifying information. If this reading or any of the readings resonate with you and you would be interested in a more personal one-on-one reading with me, just click on the description link below. You can hit that arrow that pulls down some information where you will see a little more info and contact details for me. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I do offer a wide variety of readings, a lot of different types of readings in all the main areas of life. And I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. So I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedules to get readings out to you or scheduled with you in as timely a fashion as possible. So send me an email if you're interested and we will go from there. Okay, Scorpio, let's see what's in store for you for the last half of February. All right, Scorpio, we begin with the Ten of Pentacles, followed by the Knight of Pentacles, Judgment, followed by Temperance. From the bottom of the deck, overall energy, the Hanging Man. Wow, 3 major arcana cards out of 5. Pretty important couple of weeks. Potentially pretty important and profound, or could have a profound impact. So slow moving offer about stability, security. It's interesting because your other two sister signs, Scorpio, which would be Cancer and Pisces, I also did today, but I did earlier today and had some readings in between. And there is with the water signs, the fire signs had common themes too. So with water signs, you and your other two sister signs, there is some common thread of an offer, either making an offer or receiving an offer, or do I want this? And I feel the same here. And it looks like you're trying to take your time and be balanced about it, whether there's an offer coming in towards you, or whether you're thinking of extending one outwards, although it looks like perhaps one coming in towards you very slowly. Your overall energy for the last 2 weeks of February is the Hanging Man, which is a card that shows you not really taking much action, because the Hanging Man doesn't. He hangs upside down. Well, and here it's from the Zodiac Wheel, and from others it can be the Tree of Life and Tree of Knowledge, because he's hanging upside down, which gives a different perspective, and sometimes you pick up new things, new perspectives, new ideas, new information. You see things from a new way. So you may be doing that while you're kind of waiting and watching something play out in a situation. So what is this all about? Well, we have the Ten of Pentacles with the Knight of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles, sometimes considered the inheritance card. Maybe you're waiting on an inheritance. Pentacles is governed by the element of earth. And in the tarot, Pentacles is about often the physical structure of our life, or how safe and stable and secure we feel about our day-to-day life. So Pentacles can often show up like as things in regards to money, finance, property, real estate assets, job, financial or material things, or even emotional, more intangible things that make us feel safe, solid, like there's a safety net, long-term relationships, marriages, jobs. 10s do represent cycle completion, and it can represent completion in terms of something coming to an end, like, receiving an inheritance or a division of assets from somebody passing on, because it's long-term stability that has a lot of history behind what went into building it up to get it to be this abundant. Sometimes it can represent positive innings in work, like the 10 of Pentacles could represent retirement, a retirement with a very nice package after a long and successful career path. But sometimes 10s can represent cycle fulfillment in a way that you feel like you finally at that place where everything's just kind of come together for you, especially where in terms of how secure and stable you feel in your life. It can be about financial, material, or emotional things that make you feel safe and secure in your day-to-day life, or the efforts you put into acquiring those things. So there is this long-term, if this is a relationship issue, it would be long-term, stable relationship, marriage, probably something more conventionally structured. And what's underneath it is the Knight of Pentacles, which is an offer or an opportunity, which is what knights typically represent. They are the bringers, the deliverers, the guardians of the tarot. They're knights. They have a mission, a quest, something to achieve. They're all about going off, sometimes very single-minded and focused about it, to achieve the results, acquire the thing, and bring the results of that back. So they usually represent an offer, something being brought in, which always represents an opportunity for change. They can also represent the speed at which a situation moves, the speed at which that opportunity for change moves. And in that, the Knight of Pentacles, because he's governed by Earth, it's the slowest element. He's the slowest of all 4 of his knights. His other 3 brother knights are faster, but sometimes that isn't necessarily a good thing, because the Knight of Wands is fueled by fire, and he's very spontaneous and impulsive. He rushes ahead. Sometimes he cuts corners, takes shortcuts. They don't always work out well, right? The Knight of Cups is very emotionally, charges in. He's in love with love itself. He's so emotional. Sometimes it doesn't always work out well either. The Knight of Swords can charge in with his information and his truth and his knowledge. Sometimes it's a little harsh. The Knight of Pentacles, he's Earth, so he's slower. He's cautious, he's guarded, he's protected. Goes a few steps, stops, looks around. Do I need to save myself? Do I need to save anything else? Everybody else? Is everything all right? Okay, go forward a few more steps, But he is the one knight guaranteed to cross the finish line, guaranteed to achieve his mission and quest. So while this long-term stability and security might be slow in coming, it is coming, and it looks very solid, stable, and secure, which might be adding to this sense of, you're just kind of waiting there, watching, which can be frustrating. And then we have Judgment and Temperance, the last week of February, or towards the end of February. Though in terms of timing is always fluid, especially where emotions and people are concerned, and never more so than in a general reading. So this just could be ongoing, but it's what's showing up especially for the last half of February. So Judgment and Temperance. Judgment is a card that usually shows up when an opportunity or a choice comes up. And it's a significant and profound opportunity or choice. It may not seem like so in the present, but the impact and the consequences of whatever you choose or don't choose, whatever you set into motion, will be long-lasting and usually irreversible. It represents a bell that cannot be unrung once it's rung, because this is Gabriel, one of the archangels, blowing their horn. It's a call to action, a call to account for yourself, to be judged. Can sometimes represent a second chance. There may be a second opportunity at something coming along, slowly but surely, to do something. It might be to accept an offer, it might be to turn down an offer. But the results of it will be long-lasting and could potentially change your life. I think would potentially change your life one way or the other. Underneath it, we have Temperance, which is a card of staying grounded, staying in the middle, and not letting your emotions run away with you. We are emotional creatures. It's part of what makes us human. But they should be the horse we ride, not the other way around. Temperance is about not allowing your emotions and your feelings to get caught up with you, because temperance is about being balanced and in the middle. Yes, it's about being patient, but that's not necessarily a static position. You're on the middle of a seesaw or teeter-totter. Temperance is the middle. It's grounded. The outside arms represent things we have no control over. People, places, unexpected situations, sometimes our own emotions. When we're in the center, knowing who we are, what we're about, what's right, what's the path for us, knowing what's good and what's not good for us. Honor and integrity too. That's being in the center. And while the outside arms we may not be able to control, we might have to shift our weight to maintain our balance when they go up and down. We don't leave our centers to jump and dive on the midst of these arms, these situations, people, places, emotions. We experience them, but we don't allow them to control us, because once we leave our center and go out on those, we wobble and fall off, right? Strong potential to do so. Staying in the middle. I think you're being advised, Scorpio. Well, it's obvious what you're being advised to do. Something's coming. It's interesting because I felt this a little bit for Pisces too, that there was something coming maybe in the last half of February, although, excuse me, timing being fluid. It could be sometime in the first part of February as well. But I feel like something else is coming, although a little slower. And there will be an opportunity to make a choice in this situation. And maybe it's a choice or an opportunity for change that you had before, but chose no, or chose to stay in it, or chose not to. Excuse me. This winter cold is just lingering. And choosing now is going to make a difference with an air of finality. Now, judgment, sometimes representing a second chance at an opportunity, would be a pretty strong implication for some of you. That if this is an opportunity for change that you had before, and you made a certain choice before, you may want to make a different choice now. But being balanced about that, I think for the last half of February, because this thing is approaching a little slow, but it is approaching. So I'm thinking maybe the first part of March or so. You're being asked to take stock, to watch, to continue learning, acquire knowledge, stay balanced. Maybe seek some advice or counseling or support from a trusted advisor or friend. Let me pull one final advice and guidance card from Spirit on how best to navigate through this energy. I don't think there's anything to be done just yet, but how best to navigate through this relatively short period of time, 2 weeks or so. Your advice is justice. Wow, justice and judgment both. Justice is the reap what you sow card. So is judgment in a way. It represents that the outcome of something, how something plays out or ends up being, especially after you make this choice or not, is going to be related to, dependent on what goes into it. You reap what you sow. Minimal investment, minimal return. Maximum investment, maximum return. If you said yes to something before and no to something before and it didn't work out, consider making a different choice this time. I don't think this is an opportunity which will come around again, or at least not for a long time. Justice in the upright implies doing the right thing, holding to the path and the choice that you know to be of the highest level of honor, personal honor and integrity and truth that you know, what you know to be absolutely right. Wow. This feels like a potentially pretty profound thing, whatever it is. We have 2 Pentacles, We have 2 Pentacles and 4 Major Arcana cards. It might be just about money, finances, property, inheritance, something of that sort. It might be about a long-term relationship potential offer, or one that maybe needs to end in order to accept another one. I mean, I'm not sure. You know, this is where individual stories and general readings come into play. It's going to be different things to different people. It's about your long-term security and stability, whether it's purely financial and material, or whether it's emotional, or a combination of both of those things. You're being asked to think carefully about this before you make a decision, because whatever you decide is going to set the stage for quite some time to come, whether you say yes or whether you say no. Judgment, there is some implication for some of you that you had this opportunity before, so whatever you chose then, you may want to think about making a different choice now. Because once you ring this bell this time, it's not a bell that's going to come around again for you to unring or ring again. At least not for a very long time, I think. So choose carefully, choose wisely, choose honorably. Because how it plays out and how you experience it is going to be based on what you choose and how you choose it. It's kind of heavy, huh? It kind of is. But that's what it looks like for the last half of February. So, Scorpio, that is your reading for the last half of February. We'll see what shows up in the next general reading. I hope that you found it helpful, useful, or gave you some feedback in some sense. Again, if it resonated with you, or if any of them do, and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, just click on the description link below, hit that little pull down arrow, and you'll see more info. You can contact me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to work with you, and I can usually respond to initial inquiries with more info within the same day or the first 24 hours. So shoot me an email if you're interested, and I'd be happy to work with you. So Scorpio, I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the March 2020 general readings. Until then, as always, I wish you much joy, love, peace, strength, and wisdom. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.